Hello again, this is Ms. Billerbeck, and we're going to talk about section 8.2. So this is properties of angles. So we previously talked about complementary and supplementary angles. So if you remember, complementary angles, they add up to how much? Well, if you thought 90 degrees, you would be correct. So this little box here indicates a 90-degree angle or a right angle. So that gives us a hint that these two angles that are adjacent angles, when you add them, they should equal to 90 degrees. So we can use a little bit of math here. So x plus 35 degrees equals 90 degrees. Now we're going to use an additive inverse to solve this problem. So plus 35's inverse would be minus 35 degrees. And if we do it to one side of the equation, we're going to do it to the other side. So then we add the two equations together, we get x plus 0 equals, and that's a minus 35 there. So we're going to borrow one from here, and we get 55 degrees. So x equals 55 degrees. All right, now when we look at the supplementary angles, if we recall, supplementary angles add up to what? If you thought 180 degrees, you're right. So we're going to have y plus 70 degrees equals 180 degrees. We're going to use an additive inverse again because we need to move this 70 degrees, which is a like term to the 180 degrees, to the other side. So it's a plus 70, so the opposite of a plus 70 is a minus 70 degrees. We do it to one side, we do it to the other side. So when we add it together, we have y equals, and then 180 minus 70 degrees is 110 degrees. So we have y equals 110 degrees. And let's not forget our little degree symbol, that's pretty important. Okay, so that's the first step to adding angles. When we know that they're complementary, they add up to 90 degrees, or supplementary, they add up to 180 degrees. All right, so let's look at one where we have more than just two angles. So if we have a straight angle or a straight line, we know that that's like a half turn if we're going to do a skateboard half turn, or it's a half turn in dance. So how many degrees is that? If you thought 180, you'd be right. So that is a 180-degree turn, a half turn. So if we add up all these three angles together, these angles should add up to 180 degrees. So we're going to need to do some simplification. So we're going to put an S over here instead of an A for additive inverse, because first we had to simplify. So we look at the 160 and the 15, which are like terms. They're constants. So 160 plus 1 plus 15 is 175 degrees. So we have x plus 175 degrees equals 180. Next, we're going to use an additive inverse. So the opposite of a plus 175 is a minus 175. And if we do it to one side, we do it to the other side. So we have x plus 0 equals, and then when we subtract these, we get 5 degrees. So x equals 5 degrees. Since this is just an x over here, and there's no coefficient besides 1, the 1 is hiding, by the way, when there's only a 1 in front of the x, or just x, we don't need to use a multiplicative inverse to solve the problem. In our next examples, we'll be using a multiplicative inverse to complete the SAM process. So this one, again, we have a straight angle here, but we have this little box here, which means 90 degrees. Okay, normally it wouldn't be written 90 degrees right there. Normally we would just see it like this. And we'd have to know, but that was a 90-degree angle, okay? Because you know how they like to trick you. So you've got to look for all those little signs and say, I'm not going to be tricked. So that's going to be 90 degrees right here. Okay, we know that this is 180 degrees because it's a half turn, or a straight angle, or a straight line. So we just add up everything that we have. We have x plus 90 degrees plus 4x equals 180 degrees. We have to simplify because we have this term and this term, which are variables, and they can be combined. So x plus 4x, or really that's a 1x plus 4x, is 5x, plus 90 degrees, which is a constant and can't be added to a variable, equals 180 degrees, which is also a constant. Now we have to choose one thing to move to the other side. Since this is a constant, 180 degrees, we choose the constant 90 degrees. And we're going to use an additive inverse. So the opposite of a plus 90 is a minus 90 degrees. And we get 5x plus 0 equals, and this is going to be 90 degrees. Cancel this one out. This is a 0, 18, whoops, and we have 9. There you go. That one does not get canceled. So 18 minus 9 is 9. All right, so we have a 5x equals 90. Well, we can't have a 5x equals 90. We have to do something about this 5. So 5 is multiplying with the x. So we're going to use a multiplicative inverse. So what's the opposite of multiplication? That's right, division. So we're going to divide by the 5 to get rid of it, and divide on the other side by 5. And 0 divided by 5 is just 0. So that really doesn't make any difference there. So then we have x equals, and 90 divided by 5 is, we have 118 degrees. So x equals 18 degrees. Now we could check this and put 18 degrees here and do 4 times 18 degrees. So we take 18 degrees times 4, and we get 32, 72. So we have 72 degrees here. We add them up. 18 plus 72 is 90. 90 plus 90 is 180 degrees. All right, let's look at the next example. Oh, no more straight angles here. We're doing a circle. How many degrees are in a circle? That would be right if you thought 360 degrees. So we're looking at 360 degrees all the way around. So 360 degrees. So we're going to add x plus 3x plus 6x plus 160 equals 360 degrees. We simplify by combining all the variables. So 1x plus 3x plus 6x is 10x. Let's put a little s out here for simplify. Plus 160 degrees equals 360 degrees. Now we have to use an additive inverse to move this to the other side. So we subtract 160 and subtract 160, and we get 10x plus 0 equals 200. We have a 10 times x, so we're going to need a multiplicative inverse. What's the opposite of multiplication? That's right, division. So we're going to divide by 10 and divide by 10. And, you can divide the 0 by 10, but it really doesn't matter. 0 divided by 10 is still going to be 0. So let's move over here. We have 10x. Well, this is actually just x. And if we take a 0 out from the top and the bottom, 20 divided by 1 is, and if you don't know, how many ones are in 20? Oh, that would be right, 20. So 20 divided by 1 is just 20, so x is 20 degrees. Very good. All right, now for our next example. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about vertical angles. If you remember the little bow tie angles I had trouble showing you. And so opposite sides of these intersecting dry erasers are always equal. So the opposite angles of the dry erase markers are equal. Not the opposite sides, but the opposite angles. So if we did not know anything about this angle, we would know because this line and this line intersect. So this angle is 30 degrees, so that means that this has to be congruent to that angle. Congruent means the same measure. They have the same measure and they have the same shape. So if this is 30 degrees, this side is 30 degrees. All right, and if we notice, if these two are vertical angles, then that also means that this angle here and this angle here are also vertical angles. So without doing much math, we could tell that if this is x, and we added 70 plus 80, these two adjacent angles that make that opposite angle with x, then we'd know x was 150 degrees. But if we don't see that, we know that making a full circle going all the way around would be 360 degrees. So we can add up x plus 30 degrees plus 70 degrees plus 80 degrees plus 30 degrees equals 360 degrees. So we combine our like terms, which are all these. So 30 plus 70 is 100, 100 plus 80 is 180, 180 plus 30 is 210 degrees. So we have x plus 210 degrees equals 360 degrees. Now we're going to use an additive inverse. So this 210, the opposite of a positive 210, is a minus 210. So we're going to subtract that from both sides. And we see that x equals, and we have 150 degrees, which is exactly what we thought we were going to have when we looked at these vertical angles up here and saw that 70 plus 80 equals 150 degrees, so x should equal 150 degrees. So that concludes section 8.2, and this is going to be your homework for that section. Again, stay healthy and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.